Welcome to the Lose Your Cravings podcast, taking a different approach to your struggle with food, weight, and body obsession with your host, Keysa Amaro, certified integrative health coach. Welcome back, my friends. I'm Keysa Amaro, certified health coach, and I help ambitious women transform their negative body image and obsession with weight into body confidence so that they can show up fully in their life and career. And I want to share my 2 reasons you can't quit your cravings guide with you, absolutely free. This is an amazing guide that will help shed light onto why you crave food in the first place and what to do about it. So just head on over to my website, Keysa Amaro, that's KeysaAmaro.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage and enter your name and email, and I'll send it on over to you. And if you struggle with cravings or really feeling out of control around food, this guide is for you, my friend. So what are you waiting for? Go do it now. Pause and go do it. And then come back and listen to me. Okay, so today I want to share with you how creating comfort in your life can help you heal your emotional eating. And if you're working on your emotional eating or have worked with me through my Transform Your Cravings program, you know that allowing emotions is part of the healing process, the part of healing your relationship to food. So, not eating to avoid your emotions is a new habit that you are working on, right? So, not eating when you have an emotion. You have an emotion, you want to eat food to cover it up. And not doing this is a new habit that you're working on. And when changing any habit, we experience discomfort in the process, right? It's not comfortable not answering your cravings with food, right? It's not comfortable not answering an urge to eat with food, right? It's not comfortable to feel a negative emotion. So when you have been using food to not feel discomfort and you take away the food, guess what you're left with? Discomfort, right? And no one wants to feel discomfort, right? And in fact, we as humans are biologically wired to seek pleasure and avoid discomfort. It's the motivational triad: seek pleasure, avoid pain, and do what's easiest, right? We seek pleasure and we avoid discomfort. So, why do we seek comfort? And there is a good reason for this biological need for pleasure or comfort, right? And it helped us survive, right? It helped our species survive many, many years ago. You know, when we were hungry, we were uncomfortable, we looked for food. When we were cold, we were uncomfortable, we created shelter and clothes to keep us warm, right? We seeked the pleasure, we looked for pleasure. And procreating feels good. So we will keep our species alive, right? We looked for that pleasure because we didn't have much of it around us, and it's what kept us alive. But fast forward to our modern world, and we are bombarded with things that can take our discomfort away, but they don't always give us the results that we want. So things like overeating, staying up too late to watch just one more episode of your favorite show. For me right now, it's How to Get Away with Murder. um, the social media void that sucks you in for hours, right? Getting lost in social media. And then there are these are all things that give us pleasure, right? However, they also have a negative consequence for us, right? Overeating causes weight gain, bloating, physical discomfort, brain fog, emotional discomfort. We get frustrated. We feel like we're a failure. We have shame, guilt, all those things, right? Staying up too late to watch some more Netflix, it leaves you tired and exhausted in the morning, right? And then spending too much time on social media, it wastes time that you could be using for production, for working, spending time with your family or friends. And also you could stay up too late with that, right? So when we take away the activity that brings us comfort and pleasure, we are left with discomfort, right? So now I don't know about you, but I don't want to feel uncomfortable. but I don't want to numb my feelings with food either. So, what do? And this is where creating comfort comes in and helps you on your process to healing your emotional eating. By creating healthy comfort that doesn't give us a negative consequence, you can add small amounts of natural pleasure in your life on a daily basis. So, first, I want to touch on embracing discomfort, and then I want to walk you through how to create comfort in your life that has a positive consequence and helps you heal your emotional eating. So, let's first look at discomfort. So, the opposite of giving into your cravings is discomfort, right? When you don't give into your cravings and answer that urge or that craving, it's discomfort. You're uncomfortable, right? And the discomfort we feel when we stop reacting to our cravings and allowing them instead is part of the process and the reason we eat our cravings in the first place, right? So, despite the negative feeling and discomfort, this is not a good reason to continue overeating, right? We can like weigh both of the consequences, like overeating. It brings you maybe weight gain, bloating, digestive discomfort, emotional discomfort. Whereas feeling a negative emotion is just emotional discomfort for a little bit, right? So really, this is the perfect time to learn how to feel and how to allow uncomfortable cravings and urges. And this is what I support my clients through in my Transform Your Cravings program. I help them go through the process of allowing these uncomfortable feelings to have these positive consequences, these positive long-term results of ending your emotional eating, learning the skill of allowing emotions and how to process them without food, and feeling free of food, free of having it control you. So when you make a change in your life, you usually experience a bit of discomfort, whether it's starting a new job, moving, making new friends, going on a diet, getting up early to work out. So know that when you start working on your emotional eating, that you are going to experience discomfort. And this is part of the process. Discomfort is part of the process when we work on our emotional eating. It is normal to experience discomfort. Okay. So I just want you to have that in the forefront of your mind. Like when you set out to work on your emotional eating, work on your cravings, it's not going to be rainbows and unicorns the whole time, right? It's going to be uncomfortable. And I know discomfort doesn't sound like much fun, but eventually your body will adjust. Your habits change, your brain makes new connections, and you will confidently allow negative emotions. You will feel better than you have in your entire life, believe me. So let's take a look at creating comfort in our life that gives us a positive consequence. Okay, so now I know I may sound like you just need to have discomfort, discomfort, discomfort. However, I'm not that mean and cruel. I want you to create comfort to help you through this uncomfortable time. Okay, so our brain wants to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and do what's easiest, right? So looking at the seeking pleasure portion of the motivational triad, it's important to learn how to comfort ourselves emotionally without relying on external sources of comfort that are really temporary and provide a negative consequence, right? We call this like instant gratification. Also refer to these as false pleasures, right? They give you pleasure right in the moment, but they're not long term, and they provide a negative consequence. So when you decrease the amount of artificial pleasure, so whether that be food, sugar, carbs, ice cream, cookies, social media, Netflix, and I'm not saying don't watch Netflix, but you know what I mean when you overconsume it, right? And it takes away from your sleep or from being social and other healthy aspects of life, right? Same thing with social media, same thing with food, right? We're talking about over consuming. So when you decrease the amount of artificial pleasure and you start healing your brain, you will start enjoying the natural pleasures of life that are less intense, but they come without consequences, right? So I don't know if any of you have ever gone on like a sugar detox, right? Um, I have done many of these in my life. But one good thing, I mean, it wasn't all bad, but like one good thing that came out of it is that I noticed sweetness in foods like carrots. Like carrots became sweet to me. Bell peppers became sweet to me because I took away that false, like the concentrated sugar. It's like kind of like a false sugar. It's like just concentrated sugar. And I was finding the natural sugars, right? So I strongly recommend that you have a plan for these natural comforts to help support you in um, healing from your emotional eating, healing from your cravings and your poor relationship to food. So go ahead and write a list of things or activities that create comfort and pleasure in your life, but they don't have those negative consequences, right? So I have some examples for you here and things that I like to do. Good music, like listening to good music, comforting music, maybe music that like brings you back, like listening to like 80s music or 90s music, depending on how old you are, right? But like some classics that like make you feel good. Let me see. Oh, interesting podcasts, right? So things that I like are like true crime, like Serial's a really good podcast. Something Went Wrong. Wait, Don't Tell Me is a good podcast just for pure entertainment. Radio Lab, super informative. Love it. So finding an interesting podcast to listen to. Soft blankets and nice pillows. Like I love soft blankets, like wrapping up in a soft blanket and reading a book with like either like warm coffee or warm tea. Like that's amazing to me. Good movies that you don't overconsume. Like you watch the movie and then it's done, right? You don't watch whatever comes on next. A massage, time in nature. Like I love my time in nature, connecting back to nature and to self, right? Um, Walks on the beach. Good if you have a beach near you. Walks in a park, right? Walks outside. Good books, clean sheets, right? Like jumping into bed with clean sheets, so amazing, right? A clean closet. It doesn't have to be a closet. It could be like a clean drawer. Like I love tidying up a drawer and having it be organized and clean. Like that brings comfort and pleasure to me. And a clean house, right? Whether you're doing that yourself or somebody else is doing that for you, it's pretty amazing, right? So this is just a list of things and activities that I've added to my daily routine or weekly routine to add natural sources of pleasure and comfort to my life. So think of things that work for you, that bring those natural sources of comfort. And by doing this, I was able to get pleasure from these things and not have to rely on food to bring pleasure to my life. And it would help me through the discomfort of addressing my emotional eating. So now I do want to say that the purpose of these activities are not to avoid your cravings, right? They're not to avoid, which would be another like way of buffering, like avoiding your cravings or avoiding your emotions, right? They are to add natural levels of pleasure in your life that give you natural amounts of dopamine, right? When we do these comforting things, they give us a nice natural amount of cannot say that word, dopamine, to help create comfort in your life. You still want to allow your cravings and address your emotional eating while adding in pleasurable activities. And two, spend time appreciating yourself and acknowledging your efforts on a regular basis. It's so easy to have negative and hurtful thoughts about yourself and your actions and body image when we're going through this process of allowing our emotional eating, and really like we are addressing it, right? Addressing emotional eating, addressing cravings, overeating. So if you talk nicely to yourself on purpose, you can really provide a counterbalance. And never allow beatdowns. with yourself, my friends. Always work towards compassion and curiosity rather than self-blame. Okay, my friends, this is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening in and working towards healing your emotional eating. And if you like what you heard on this episode, I invite you to share the podcast with anyone. Share it with your friends, right? If you know somebody who could benefit from what I share and my philosophy, share it with somebody. I would love to help and support as many people as possible. And I need your help to get this out, my friends. I don't do any advertising. It's just me, right? I don't pay for advertisements. I don't do any advertisement with the podcast. So I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. And then join me for my next episode where I share a strategy that helped me lose my cravings. And it has nothing to do with what you eat. So stay tuned. And I will see you all next time. Bye.